So Quin Snyder is lobbying for the Atlanta Hawks to pull Dejounte Murray from the trade market, which is interesting. As Mark Stein of the Stein line writes that Dejounte Murray is being actively lobbied by Quin Snyder to be kept on the Atlanta Hawks roster past the trade deadline. Murray has been one of the highest profile trade candidates this season. Obviously, a trade partner for the Hawks hasn't materialized, nor are they required to trade him as he's in the first year of that $114 million deal, which is a very good contract, and he's been playing phenomenally, hitting back-to-back game winners. And this report's coming from Mark Stein of the Stein line. So that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of all this? And if you're a Hawks fan, would you trade Dejounte Murray now or wait for the offseason? I want to hear your thoughts. Rest of the video is what we have heard on the latest trade rumors. Yo, what's going on, guys? We're specifically hearing that the Lakers are still prioritizing Dejounte Murray, but what specifically is happening is supposedly it might not be the easiest thing for them to do. As more and more time, it seemingly seems like it is not going to be possible. So let's talk about it right here. And what we are specifically hearing is that Dejounte Murray is obviously a guy who this season the Hawks are 19-27, and the pairing of Trae Young and Murray is when Murray's on the court, the ball needs to be on it in his hands, and Murray, when Young's on the floor, he's the guy. Okay, Murray isn't necessarily suited to be the off-ball guard, and he's so far been a 5-assist game guy on the Hawks. Comparatively, when he was on the Spurs, he was a 9-a-game assist guy. And on the flip side, he is averaging a career high 21.5 points a game, and he's been a solid 3-point shooter. And in terms of what Murray did wrong to be traded is nothing. He's always been a productive player, two-way. Obviously, he's not the same defensive player that he was. But the thing with Murray is that he's 27 years old. He's on a cheap acquirable deal. His ability to play as a secondary ball handler and as a primary, obviously, again, he's better suited as a primary ball handler, allows him to kind of play that secondary role next to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and providing help defensively better than D'Angelo Russell. However, D'Angelo Russell is the logical trade piece, and for them, he has the right. He gave up the right of vetoing any trade. Had he not vetoed that right, this decision would probably be a lot more different than what it is right now. So the one clear sticking point in the deal is that the Hawks do not want to take D'Angelo Russell. It's not meant as an indictment on D'Angelo Russell as an individual, rather in being a ball-dominant, creative scoring type with spotty defensive record and inclination to gravitate towards the ball rather than moving off of it. Russell replicates Young's style without getting, obviously to the level that Trae Young is at. And therefore, he would be bad use of, salary and roster spots. So for them, they want to find a third party that would take on that asset. And in addition, Russell's own improved play at this point has made it questionable to seem like he should even be traded, because since he's moved back into the starting lineup 8 games ago, he's averaged 27.5 points, 6.5 assists, shooting 52.3% from the field and 54% from the free. And the Lakers obviously would still like to have Murray, but Russell at this point is making it less than a requirement. So all reports indicate that the Lakers are still in on him, but maybe it might be like Gabe Vincent with somebody else. They're saying they're only going to trade Austin Reeves for a clear all-star. In theory, the Lakers do not need a trade for Murray around Russell, as I just said. In terms of both salary and talent, they could very easily engage the Hawks around Austin Reeves. But that's not happening. Reeves, understandably, yet perhaps excessively, has been deemed off limits for all but the game's very best at a level that Murray's not at. And your opinion can vary if that's the right or wrong move. But from a financial perspective, in order to salary match Murray, who makes 18.2. They could do a deal around Rui Hachimura or Gabe Vincent. And from the point of trade capital, which the Hawks are said to be seeking, given their shortage in the department since they emptied the cupboard to get Dejounte Murray, the Lakers are not the best team to ask, given their own shortage in draft capital. So the challenge is finding a third team that will either take Russell, Rui, Gabe, and cook something up that will equate to the trade value that the Hawks want for Dejounte Murray. So that's where we stand. Now, supposedly Milwaukee is the dark horse. Like I've said, it's probably either Bobby Portis with Pat Connaughton, or if you package, those two contracts with Marjon Beauchamp, Andre Jackson, and a second-round pick, something along those lines. And then, of course, the Detroit Pistons ones, it would be maybe someone like Bojan Bogdanovic or somebody else. I do think that whole Atlanta situation is interesting in its own right. So let me hear your thoughts right there. I think it's interesting, to say the least, but that's the video on that one.